Hey guys, welcome back to Prospect Channel TV. Thank you for always coming out here. Good news, Biafrans. Great thing is about to happen as the Deputy Prime Minister unveils the unbelievable. I want to say a very big thank you to every one of you. I say, may God Almighty bless you all. Then he talk say, self-determination is not a crime. And also, I want to use this opportunity to put a disclaimer here in Prospect Channels TV that we don't in any way sponsor misleading information. We don't sponsor violence, okay, non-war, okay. So all these things I hate. What we do here is we educate, we inform, okay. We sensitize the people about what is happening and all that, okay. So please, I want you to watch this video to see what is really happening. I think the Biafrans agitators, they are really doing well for themselves. Okay, let me just drop the video.
Biafrans, give for over 40,000 Biafrans job worldwide. So we're not going to unveil everything right now, but we have more, coming for Biafra. Biafra is going to be one of the best countries. There's no doubt about that. Even though we just asked to give an introduction, I have a question that I will want Biafrans to give me answer to. Well, number one question is, what are we going to lose becoming Biafrans? And the second one is, what are we gaining in Nigeria presently? So I want Biafrans to meditate on these two questions. I need answer. Nobody has been able to give me answer to them. What are we going to lose? No matter our position, even as politicians, no matter your ambition, if you want to be president, can't you be a president in Biafra land? If you want to be a governor, won't you be a governor in Biafra land? Whatsoever be your ambition, is it not possible for you to achieve your ambition in Biafra? Then what are you gaining in Nigeria currently? Or ever, what have you gained? I need answers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Secretary Jonathan Benjamin, for that question. And then, once Biafrans, the reason why we're here today is to let the world, Biafrans, know what we are doing, where we are going, and some of the things that we do both openly and privately. If you have any question, any worries, things you're not clear about, this is the time to ask those questions. The ones I can take, I'll take them. The ones I cannot take, I'll let you know that I'm going to come back with the answer. That is what this session is for. First, let me let you know, we declared the United States of Biafra in Finland, November the 29th, 2024. And it was an event that was the climax of the several things that Biafrans have done over the years to redeclare Biafra. As some of you are aware, Biafra was a nation between 1967 and 1970, during the period when we fought a brutal war with Nigeria. During that war, many Biafrans, innocent children, were killed, mostly by starvation by the Nigerian state. And the way they did that is to block the food entrance of foods and other things into the Biafran territory. A couple of countries at that time played a role to help Biafrans, and those countries at this point are still supporting the independence and the sovereignty of the United States of Biafra. Biafra conducted a self-referendum, both online and at home physically, to ensure that we go through the peaceful process to remove ourselves from Nigeria. Um, During this period, over 50 million Biafrans voted at home and abroad using different formats. That was presented when we were in Finland. Biafra has met all the criteria to be a full-fledged independent nation. We have our sovereignty cut out. We have our people that have participated in the self-referendum to exit Nigeria. Over 98% of Biafrans that participated in this voting process, they all voted for Biafra to exit Nigeria. Biafra has explored different sources of peace negotiation with Nigeria over the years, and some of that included when our leader Nnamdi Kanu called for the regional distribution of Nigeria, trying to let Biafrans to be independent and rule themselves. Nigeria rejected that. We have reached out to Nigeria to be able to let them know we want to conduct self-referendum. For over the past 10 years, Nigeria refused to do that. We also have reached out to different offices to the Nigerian state of the need for Biafra to be free. Nigeria has rejected that. Nigeria maintains that Biafra and Nigeria must be in the same place, must be one Nigeria, must be one nation, because of mostly the rich mineral resources that come from the Biafra region, which Nigeria is using to service themselves and give it to European countries that support their globalist agenda. And while our people lavish in squalor and in poverty and not getting the basic education, the basic health care, just some of the basic things that people that produce minerals, such heavy amount of mineral resources that they're supposed to be enjoying. None of that is in Biafra land. We have no international airport in Biafra land, no seaport, no airport, no major railway line that has cut across to our region. Everything is being denied to Biafrans by the Nigeria state. Meanwhile, it is from this Biafra region that Nigeria gets most of the mineral reserves and resources they use to service European countries and some Western world. And Biafrans have come to say no more. We are not going to be the region that produces the rich oil reserves, while Nigeria state milk that and use that to siphon it to countries outside Biafra land and collect the money to continue to enhance terrorism in Nigeria. We all know the Nigerian state is one of the countries that rehabilitates and reintegrates non-terrorists into the military, police, and all their security services. Because most indigenous Nigerians have refused to join the Nigerian military and police because of the reintegration of non-terrorists into the Nigerian military. So what Nigerian state does is to reintegrate these terrorists, give them guns and ammunition, and ship them over to Biafra land to continue to kill innocent Biafrans who does not believe in one Nigeria. This killing has been going on for years, and now Biafrans have said no more of those killings. We cannot continue to stay in a country that reintegrates non-terrorists into its system, and you force us to live with terrorists. That is why Biafra declared their independence in Latin Finland on November the 29th, 2024. Nigeria state has also committed several atrocities, several criminal things against Biafra people. We have a lot of Biafran people in jail in different parts of Nigeria without no recourse to legal services, without no recourse to legal help. This is a country that arrests people, dump them in prisons without any remorse, without any opportunity for those individuals to bail themselves or even have their cases heard in court. So it's like we are still living in stone age in Nigeria. Nigeria is a failed state, and that has been documented in several areas. The worst part of this is the collusion of the Nigerian government with some European countries like Finland, like Britain, like the United Kingdom to suppress and destroy psychologically, emotionally, Biafrans all over the world, tagging us terrorists just for fighting for our freedom, just for our self-determination, just for trying to express ourselves. This is what Nigerian state has continued to do, colluding with European countries to continue to destroy our people. And we say no more of that. There are several instances. Our leader Nnamdi Kanu is still held today by the Nigeria state, going to almost 5 years for nothing except the independence of Biafra. The United Nations Committee on Extraordinary Rendition has told Nigeria to leave Nnamdi Kanu and compensate him. Nigeria has refused to do that till date. About 2-3 competent courts inside Nigeria has gone through the case of our leader Nnamdi Kanu and acquitted and discharged him. Nigeria state continue to hold him till today as we speak. Why? Because they are more interested in milking our natural resources, milking the oil and giving it to their cause and the people they connive with abroad. France, Finland, England, Europe, all of that, Britain. Now, our leader, our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, just for the same reason, nothing more. Finland invited him 2 weeks before our redeclaration in Latin Finland. And since then, Finland is holding our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. For the same reason, Nigeria is holding Nnamdi Kanu. So this is a calculated systemic plan by European countries to continue to subjugate Biafrans, to kill Biafrans, and continue at the same time to milk our natural resources to develop their countries. That cannot continue anymore. You cannot continue to kill and destroy countries, destroy Biafra by holding their leaders and instigating the reintegrated terrorists to come to our land to kill our people. There are several reports of human rights abuses by Nigeria state. That has been documented both by the United Nations, by African nations, the Organization of Emerging States in Africa. All these are well documented. Nigeria is forcefully removing all our male youths in Biafra land by killing them, taking them away, locking them up. Currently, as we speak, President Tinubu has his armored tanks inside the peaceful communities of Biafra land, attacking our people, hunting down our people for nothing. The same reason Finland is holding our Prime Minister. It is so easy for these European countries and the zoo country of Nigeria to label us terrorists. Why do they label us terrorists? They label us terrorists just because we want our freedom, nothing more. We want to make Biafra the nation, just like every other developing nation. We have better options. We have better services for our people, unlike what Nigerian offers. That is the crime of Biafrans, nothing more, nothing less. So anywhere Nigeria and Europeans, they see Biafrans, they try to tag them or label them terrorists. Recently, we have 4 innocent Biafrans that were arrested by our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa in Finland for nothing except just helping for the restoration of the independent state of Biafra. Finland, through their president and staff, arrested these innocent Biafrans, locked them up for days, for months. And our Prime Minister today is still locked up in Finland for nothing. Even when those innocent Biafrans, 4 of them were left out, Finland still is suffering those Biafrans till today. Most of them cannot access their bank account. Most of them, their businesses have been destroyed by Finland. Most of them, they cannot even get any basic services they need to sustain their families. And Finland has continued to suffer these innocent Biafrans, including our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. Just the same way Britain, using Nigeria, have continued to suffer our leader Nnamdi Kanu. This is what we as a people are going through, and we say no more of that. We are going to use everything within our means, legally possible, to protect ourselves. Self-defense is not a crime. Between December and now, when Finland took away our Prime Minister, Nigeria state has murdered over 500 innocent Biafrans for nothing. These are people sleeping in their homes. These are people just walking around in front of their homes. Nigerian state, using the Southeast and South delegitimized governors, Uzodimma, Peter Obi, Soludo, they set up these criminal gangs. They call their agents, security agents, mostly reintegrated terrorists, and they use that to suppress and kill innocent Biafrans that are fighting for their freedom. This is what we are going through. You have a country in Nigeria where you have 2 laws. They use Sharia in the north, and they use the secular law in the south. One country. Innocent Christians that are born to Christian families in the north are made to use and go through and obey the Sharia law. Christians are murdered in Nigeria, buried, mass graves. Nobody is doing anything about that. All of you remember the story of Deborah, the innocent Christian that was murdered in the north. Nothing has been brought against those people that killed this individual. And so many other thousands of Christians have been murdered in Nigeria. And nobody is saying anything about it. That when we rise up, when we say we want our nation, we do not want to continue to live in a country where non-terrorists are reintegrated and rehabilitated. Nigeria state connived with their British counterpart, the globalist counterparts, to arrest innocent Biafrans and put them away, thinking that is going to stop our quest for our freedom. Some of the examples, we have the Finnish president talking about book promotion utterances. We hear Alex Starr, you're talking about promotion of your book that you wrote going around. That is a big joke. Alex Starr, how can you be talking about promoting a book about freedom? Meanwhile, you lock up our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, who is the head of a state. You lock him up in Finland. And you're going around making a jest of yourself, promoting a book you wrote. You should be ashamed of yourself to be promoting a book about freedom, and you lock up our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa in Finnish jail. Or you just put him away. Let me use that word. And you're doing an investigation since November till now. You've not indicted this individual of any crime. And you're still investigating. And you're going about promoting your nonsense book you wrote. And you think we don't know what you're doing. We know the European Empire, led by the Britain, crumbled years back. But all they are doing is to hang on to the Nigerian state that supplies them crude oil, which they use to survive. And they can kill anyone. They can go to any length to destroy Biafrans, to continue to milk their natural resources. Not anymore. France is now part of that circle, the globalists. We know the globalist agenda. France is now heading Nigeria. That is why Nigeria was so scared of the coming of Donald Trump. Nigeria did everything possible to ensure that the president of America, Donald Trump, never came to power. They used people like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala to write all the nonsense about world trade and all that. That is the plan. Nigeria worked against the coming of President Trump. It's of public domain. Because they know America promotes and supports the independence of people. America protects Christians. America protects the freedom of speech, unlike what Finland is doing and what Europe is doing and what the Nigerian state is doing. Currently, Finland is holding the head of a state, the head of United States of Biafra. Finland knows very well that when they remove Simon Ekpa, Nigerian terrorist state will increase their activities of killing of innocent Biafrans. That is exactly what is going on. Finland planned with Nigeria and removed Simon Ekpa. And Nigeria increased their killing of innocent Biafrans. So what is the plan there, Finland? What is your plan with Nigeria? So you remove Simon Ekpa, one, to stop the restoration of the independence of Biafra. Secondly, to aid Nigerian state, the states that rehabilitate and reintegrate non-terrorists. You aided them in the killing of innocent Biafrans as we speak right now. That is what you are doing. That is also what Britain is doing. So the time for crying is over. We are not going to beg anybody anymore. Our leader Nnamdi Kanu has talked enough. Our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa has talked enough. I believe Finland, there is no document about the restoration of Biafra that you do not have on your table. That Prime Minister Simon Ekpa submitted both to the government of Finland and to all the necessary authorities. You have that information. But you wanted more of the bilateral relation between Nigeria and Finland. You prefer that to the human rights of Biafrans. You prefer that to the survival and to innocent lives that are killed by a Nigerian terrorist state. You take preference to the oil that Tinubu is going to give you, Finland and France. We are fully aware of that. I'm using this opportunity to tell any country in the world that is planning or negotiating any business with Nigeria in the form of oil or mineral resources. We are calling on you to cancel that contract right now because it's never ever going to flourish. Biafra is now a sovereign nation. We've declared our independence and we are going to protect our territorial integrity. I also want to use this opportunity to tell Biafrans, especially those of you that are opportune to have the liberty to serve as press people, or you have people that listen to you. You work in the media. I want to use this opportunity to tell you to stop the misinformation that you are spreading to Biafrans. There's so much misinformation that are being spread by these individuals who have the opportunity to create Biafrans that listen to them, both in local language and English language. You need to stop. You cannot continue to misinform Biafrans, misinform the world when you don't have the facts. You are doing more damage to the government. And some of the information we are going to relate to the world today to know some of these individuals that go about lying to Biafrans, trying to throw some Biafrans into depression for nothing, just coming on air to just call innocent Biafrans names just to gain cheap popularity. We are going to play some of that today. I also want to use this opportunity to let everyone listening to me to know there is only one country, the United States of Biafra, with one leadership. That leadership is our leader, Nnamdi Kanu, our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, and my humble self, Dr. Robeze. Only one line of leadership. Anyone, anybody out there pretending to be anything else, please ignore them. They do not exist. These are criminals planted by the Nigerian state to continue to destabilize what we do. In every stage of the restoration of the independent state of Biafra, there are criminals planted by the Nigerian state to disrupt what we do. And I want the world to know there is nothing. This is a pattern. This is a systemic pattern of what they do. They know the right leadership. They know the right order. They know the right command. But Nigerian government pays them to disrupt what we do. And what they do is to continue to create the chaos, the little chaos and confusion that they create out there to confuse the gullible, not the ones that are truly following, but they confuse the gullible ones because they are paid to do what they are doing. So I implore all Biafrans, I implore everyone listening to me to stay focused. Our focus is to peacefully or forcefully let Nigerian government move away from our territory. Nothing more, nothing less. We are going to use everything within our reach to defend ourselves, to defend our lands from all this killing of innocent Biafrans being perpetrated by the Nigerian state. That is what we are going to continue to do. I thank all the state governors. Biafra has 40 states. Each of those 40 states in Biafra land have 15 counties. And those counties are districts and wards. We already gave a notice to the Nigerian state to vacate anywhere they are in Biafra land. Any Nigerian military or police inside Biafra land, at this point, you are occupying a foreign state. We implore you to leave. We have all the evidences that we are peacefully imploring you to leave Biafra territory. Stop killing our people because we are going to react. You cannot continue to kill our people. You cannot continue to invade and occupy our nation. We've declared our nation. We've written to the Nigerian state. We've notified them of the independence of Biafra. We are exploring all the peaceful avenues at this time. But we cannot continue to allow them to kill our people and we just watch them do that. We are going to self-defend our land. Self-determination is our right. all the 40 state governors, I thank you so much for what you are doing. We have a decentralized military in our homeland, and we will continue to build and work on that. On this note, we are going to take questions from the people that are watching. As you all know, today we call it a question and answer session. If you have any question, please you can raise up your hand and make your question as brief as possible. And I am going to try as much as possible to answer your questions. The Honorable Information, the Secretary, if you can take the hands. And please, if you cannot raise your hand using the tools that we have, let us know. You can just talk. Because we don't want people to say at the end of the day that they could not take their hands or we could not answer their questions. Meanwhile, they didn't raise their hand and they didn't let us know that they want to ask a question. All right, let's go ahead. Thank you so much, everyone. I wanted to, before you go, I wanted to let the world know and use this opportunity to also thank our Biafra Liberation Army, the Biafra Defense Forces, Navy, and Air Force for what they're doing on ground to ensure that we protect our state, to ensure we protect our nation. Please do not listen to all the rumors and gossips and all the online online misinformation going on with some individuals. All they are planning is to destabilize what we are doing. Because you cannot claim that you want Biafra to come and at the same time you are out there in the public domain misinforming people, calling people's names. You don't know anyone. We are building a nation. We are building 40 states. Everyone has a role to play. Nobody has it's not your duty. You don't have the right to come out on social media and be mentioning people's name. People you don't even know what they do. Because some people are calling you, gossiping to you, then you think you have the right to go on air and be just spilling out misinformation to the public. No one has a right to do that. It is not acceptable. We are building a nation. We have over 1 million jobs that Biafrans are lining up to take in the ministries, in the House of Representatives, in the legislatives, in the local government. Who are those that are going to do this job? There are millions of jobs in the defense, in the police, in security apparatus. Who are those that are going to take up these jobs? What are you fighting for? What do you need? Our greatest enemy is the Nigerian state that comes to kill us using the Southeast and South legitimized government and their agents, their security agents, and the reintegrated terrorists in Biafra land wearing the Nigerian military and police uniform. Those are our greatest enemies and the politicians that support them. Those are the individuals you should be fighting. Not fellow Biafrans because you have a personal beef with the individual. You come out to spill the nonsense, calling people's names that you don't even know who they are. Even if you know them, you have no right. You have no right to be misinforming Biafrans. I've seen a lot of misinformation. Like when somebody was saying that somebody was giving $50 million to an individual. That is a pure lie. And then you come out publicly to spill this nonsense to Biafrans because people just listen to you on the social media. Let us go ahead. And for those Biafrans, again, one more thing I want to say. I don't have any problem with anybody trying to do whatever or say there's freedom of information. But when that freedom of information amounts to spreading falsehood to the public, that's not acceptable. And for those of you that are being used by the Nigerian government, and when you go online or Twitter space, all you talk is about Dr. Ngozi Orebeze, Dr. Ngozi Orebeze. I ask you a question. Is Dr. Ngozi Orebeze the freedom that you're fighting for? Is Dr. Ngozi Orebeze the independence of the United States of Biafra that you are tasked to do by our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa and by our Onyendu Nnamdi Kanu? Is Dr. Ngozi Orebeze your problem? Is that the freedom you're supposed to fight? Is that the terrorists you're supposed to fight? Is that the Nigerian state that are bringing people, the integrated terrorists to kill our people? Is that the independence you're supposed to be fighting for? When you spend 8 hours on Twitter space and talking about Dr. Orebeze, you think that will change anything? That will not change a thing. The roadmap, the plan for the restoration of the independent state of Biafra is already mapped out by our Prime Minister. That template must be followed from beginning to end. If you like, you go on social media, stay there, cry from now to the next 100 years. It's not going to move anything. It's not going to stop Biafrans. So I implore all Biafrans to come together. This is not the time to start backbiting. This is not the time to start going on air to just waste your precious time. The time you will use to be talking about Dr. Orebeze or Defense Minister or Information Minister or somebody else, you can use that time to map out something strategic for Biafra. You can use that time to meet the county or the congressman in your region and tell them about Biafra. You can use that time to go to the offices of individuals that are going to financially help us to restore, establish our military, establish our police, because we need the funding. That is what you're supposed to be doing. But if you continue to come online and disrupt what we do, that means we believe the Nigerian state is using you to disrupt what we are doing. And we are going to give you the treatment that you need. I promise you that.
Which army our DPM is greeting? Is it the one our PM built, Butuzo, or which army is that? Because Butuzo said he did not recognize her. He don't know her. Third question, why begging Tinubu if we are fully recognized? Why begging Tinubu to recognize you if international have recognized you? Thank you for the 3 questions.
Thank you so much for those 3 questions. Who declared Biafra in Finland? Biafrans declared the restoration of the independence of Biafra. If you listen to what I said, our Prime Minister was supposed to do that declaration, but almost like a week or 2 before our declaration in Finland, Nigerian state connived with Finland and some agents, some Biafran agents, both at home and abroad, and they took away our Prime Minister. So that made it impossible for our Prime Minister to physically declare the independent state of Biafra. Because our Prime Minister was supposed to do that. But before that day, before the declaration, remember we were already running a government, the Biafra Republic government in exile, that ushered in the United States of Biafra. So our declaration document, as I stated, was supposed to be signed by our Prime Minister. So when they removed our Prime Minister, it became a chaos for all of us, and we didn't know what to do. And I strongly believe that in the midst of that chaos, our Prime Minister already know each and every one of us, how everyone acts, what everyone has been doing, how each person does. And because our Prime Minister maybe knew that there might be some individuals in the Biafra Republic government in exile that may bring chaos during the declaration, before then the Prime Minister had to send out that notice that I should be the surrogate. And the surrogate is somebody that will be acting in the place of our prime minister until he joins us. So the prime minister does not need to do that because we already had a structure. Even when our prime minister was around, I was the chief of staff. So the structure is already laid out. But because some individuals decided to cause chaos during the time our prime minister was taken away, maybe that was why the prime minister knew that these individuals will continue to cause the chaos. So upon the structure we already had, before our prime minister was taken away, the prime minister also had to now let the world know this is the person that will be his surrogate. So like I said, he doesn't need to do that. But in the declaration of the independent state of Biafra in Finland, it was supposed to be done by our prime minister. In the absence of our prime minister, that task fell on me on behalf of the whole Biafrans. The second question.
Mr. John, are you really? Do you wanna? Don't interrupt the DPM, please. Just hold on. And so she's going to answer a second question.
Again, somebody have to do that. Again, if you don't understand my answer, the prime minister was supposed to do that. Over 1,500 Biafrans gathered all over from the world to be in Finland. They came to do the declaration. So all the Biafrans that were in Finland at that time, they came to declare. The second question, you said Butuzo told you something. Again, if you can bring Butuzo here on this meeting to use his mouth to tell us what you said he told you, then I will be able to answer that question. Then the third question, why begging Tinubu? Nobody is begging Tinubu. You do not need the approval of your oppressor to be an independent nation. It's just like a husband and wife that are living together. If the husband is maltreating the wife does not need the permission of the husband to run away from the house. It is the power vested on the wife to leave the bad relationship. So Nigeria does not have to approve for Biafra to be an independent nation. The United Nations, the European Parliament, they have a criteria. Not that we are following these individuals, because we know they are the one partnering with the Nigerian state, milking our oil to continue to kill our people. Like I said, we've met the whole criteria to be an independent nation. That is why we declared in Finland. So we're not begging Tinubu. We are only putting the right documents on the right table. As we are submitting these documents, we are also forwarding these documents we submitted to the Nigerian state to some international bodies that are asking us for those proof. That's exactly what we are doing. We're not begging anybody. We are just doing the right thing towards a peaceful separation and notifying Nigeria about our independence, our declaration in Finland is just what we've done. Thank you so much. Next person.
Thank you.
Honorable Deputy Prime Minister. Godo, I would have loved to ask him some questions because he talked about begging Tinubu or whatever. So I wanted to understand if he actually read the documents and where he got that information that that the government was begging anybody for anything. So sometimes it's very, very important for us. I think this is an opportunity to lay those emphasis that whenever we see an information, do not focus on the headline. Go ahead and read the details so that you can understand yourselves. It is not enough that we follow the headline, especially when we know that the Nigerian media can be very, very unprofessional in their conduct. So they are used to putting headlines that do not actually reflect the actual message or the content of whatever letter that they are publishing. So it's very, very important for everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chair.
Thank you so much. And I'll just say, even though that some people may come here with some opinionated ideas, I want to also hear where they are coming from, and because some of the individuals and what they do and where they are coming from is already with a set kind of misinformation they hear from the public and from the social media, and it will also be okay for us to they know that we are here to clarify their questions. And like Honorable just said, if you do not have enough information to back up the misinformation you have here, please just ensure you keep that to yourself. Thank you so much. Next person.
Thank you so much. Dear friends, if you are coming here to ask the DPM question, please address her as DPM, not her first and last name. At least she occupies that position, even if you don't like her as an individual. Respect the position that she occupies. Thank you so much. Mazi Omenihu Onyebuchi, please go ahead.
Good evening. Am I coming up?
Yes.
I'm calling from UK. First of all, I want to commend our deputy PM for doing for all he's doing, and may God continue to protect and help her to pioneer this very struggle, which God have handed into her hand. I don't know whether we are permitted to ask questions to some of the secretaries, like the one on Interior, Secretary Dorothy. Can I ask question for her?
Yeah. Again, if the question is not for me, you can also call the person you want to answer the question. Again, the overall session is for me to really answer most of the questions. But if you have any question you want a particular secretary to answer, you're free to do that. Please go ahead.
Okay, let me finish with you first. Your own question is, I had Adadorama said that she's your sister. I must say that she has been doing a good job during the time we had this problem, but now that she has deviated, what can you do to save this very struggle from the hand of your sister? Because her altercations and utterances is an embarrassment to this very struggle. That is for you. Then for for Secretary Dorothy, I applied for my ID card initially. I was among those first people that applied. And the person I did it together came to Finland and collected hers and came back to UK. So when this issue of ID card came up again, I have to email the Secretary Dorothy. Then I gave them my number, everything. They now wrote back to me and said that my form is incomplete. When they said that, I said, okay. I wrote them back again today. So what is incomplete in my form? State it clearly. What is incomplete in my form? They now wrote back to me and said, no, you have to go and start again and fill another form. The other Friday I came online there. I was just online there when I was kicked out because somebody from Angola was interrupted. And immediately I relaxed and said, okay, let me come back again. She kicked me out of the air. And I tried to go back. They say I have been kicked out. So I don't know what is incomplete in my form. And instead of them to address the issue, they'll be telling you it is admin. Everything in UK is not admin. Some people fill their form on their own. It's not admin. Let us stop using UK issue as admin. I filled my form. They have to tell me what is incomplete in my form, and not to tell me to go and start again to do another form. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Are you here?
Excuse, hold on. Let me answer my own.
Okay.
Hold
Thank
on,
you.
Dr. Dorothy. Let me answer my question, then you answer yours. You asked me a question about Adadorama being my sister and what I have to say with the damage she is doing on the social media. Again, what I have to say is this. We are running a government right now. We are running a government, and anyone that respects that government should be very, very mindful and cautious of the information they spew out on the social media. This government supports freedom of speech, the rights of individuals, right of association, and like I said, what we will not allow is misinformation on the social media. Every Biafran is either my brother or my sister, and I'm not going to allow anyone to use brother or sister to misinform Biafrans. Again, part of that misinformation is what we are going to clarify to Biafrans here today, because so many misinformations has been sent out by this individual. And some Biafrans are already so sad, so depressed because of these lies that are being spewed out by this individual. We're going to address that. Yeah. But on a general note, every Biafran is my brother or my sister. In fact, I have brothers and sisters all over the world, because somebody that is even not your own blood brother or blood sister can be nicer to you, can do good things to you. You can have a good relationship even with a stranger more than the so-called brothers and sisters. The reason why Biafra has not been fully restored is because of those so-called brothers and sisters. They are the ones that will go behind and collude with the delegitimized Southeast and South governors, collect money from them, and then start fighting against the genuine freedom fighters we have in our country. Biafrans are mostly the culprits, because it is the rat inside that tells the one outside to come in that there's fish in the basket. So we have to take those responsibilities. We need to start reorienting ourselves. Those of you that were saying when our leader Nnamdi Kanu had a problem, oh, you are not going to do anything. You will just stay one place until our leader Nnamdi Kanu comes out. What do you have to say today? If our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa has said, okay, he's not going to do anything until Nnamdi Kanu comes out, are we going to be where we are today? Are we going to be where we are today? So those that make those kind of comments are not only ignorant, but they do not understand where we are going in the area of our freedom and the restoration of the country. When you think you have a relationship with somebody, with one of the leaders, then if something happened to that leader, you say, oh, because you didn't see the leader you like, you are now going to stay and start sabotaging and start making comments that are not right to the leader that is active. You are doing more harm to the struggle than you think. And it don't work that way. Know that you don't have the opportunity or the freedom to follow whoever you want to follow. After all, there are people that decided they won't do anything again until Mazi Nnamdi Kanu comes out. It is okay, and they are entitled to that opinion. But if you want to wait, you must seal your mouth and go and wait for Nnamdi Kanu to come out. You do not come out and start destroying what another individual or what Prime Minister Simon Ekpa is doing, because he is out. So that's what I have to say in that angle. Secretary Dorothy, you can go ahead, please.
Thank you so much, Ikem. Dr. Dorothy, go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. My video is not on, but nevertheless, I can speak like this. The way it is. Actually,
Go ahead and start your video now, Dr. Dorothy.
First of all, what country are you located, or are you residents?
UK.
UK. Your application, like I always say, you were saying it's not everything will be talking about the admin. Bearing in mind that half or even more than half of the applications sent from UK is either not complete, or their passport pictures are not uploaded, or their signatures are not there, or their IDs are not there. And I'm stating categorically clear that I've been calling those in UK one-on-one with my phone number, because the way you're sounding, it looks like, oh, I'm just wasting my time. Check the email. I've responded to your email 3 times. I'm just looking at it on my phone here. And you're sounding as if, I don't want to answer to your question. even those most of those in UK, it's like I'm arguing with them. Some of them I had to take screenshots of the where the passport section is to send to them before they can believe that actually their passport pictures are not there. Please kindly go back again and log in into your application and see what is there. And after this, give me a call, and I'm going to make sure that you see what is wrong with your application. I've been on this application since morning.
All right.
When one is working that hard, and one or two people are just saying as if one hasn't, don't know what he or she is doing, is kind of ridiculous. Please,
Dr. Dorothy, please, thank you so much for that clarification. I mean, we just are here to answer questions to people
Okay.
are asking and let them know how to. Again, I know the person that has a question, Dr. Dorothy has said you can contact her after this
Alright guys, thank you very much for staying to the end of this interesting video. Please, I want you to drop your comment. Please drop your comment below the comment section. Like this video. Please share this video. Let it go viral. Thank you and bye for now.